Hey, what's going on, YouTube family? I'm back again. My name is Mark. Please remember to slash that like button and annihilate that subscribe button and hit that post notification bell and leave me comments down below. I've talked enough, so let's just jump straight into these videos. Let's go.
They call me Megatron.
With my old man left in the wind, pushed me in the ocean, turned around and said,
"Oh, come on."
That's what I did, even though I was scared. I kept kicking, cause a person only floats when he's dead. If I had it wouldn't be.
Oh wow, I love how this is starting off already. You know how like the mind frame that this puts me in is like almost like a meditation type of technique, almost like, you know how like the title of this track is called Swim by SPM, but you know how like if you were like to go to Walmart or like a Kmart or like any type of like corporation type of store where you could sit there and buy, or like a Target or something like that, and you get those like meditation, like when you listen to like meditation music, or almost like the common soothing like water that sits there and has like a waterfall effect to it. That's the type of effect and ripple effect I'm getting from this track, in the way that he sat there and came on. It was very soothing and calming to the ear. I want to take that back though. I like that.
I was 3 when my old man left in the wind, pushed me in the ocean, turned around and said, swim. That's what I did, even though I was scared. I kept kicking, cause a person only floats when he's dead.
Oh, come on!
Wish it wouldn't be well. It would be that if we could just love ourselves. Cause every day it's like we kill a million dreams, and it seems everybody on different teams. I don't mean to get deep, I'm just speaking the truth. We in a 2-bed trailer with a leak in the roof.
Come on!
Potatoes every way you could ever make them. When you're hungry, gotta use your imagination.
Oh, come on!
She would hug and kiss me, even though we had more fucking mice than Disney.
Come on, he is snapping. Come on, I love this track. I love how deep this track is, just right off the bat, because this relates to me so well, and so much like how I had to sit there and like grow up hungry, and just like being in the type of growing up in foster care, and just like even before I went into the foster care system, having to deal with my mom who battled with drug addiction and prostitution and things like that. And when he sat there, I felt that when he sat there and used that line, talking about being hungry and having to use your imagination to sit there and feed, or just sit there and quench that starvation that's rumbling within inside your stomach, because you never know when your next meal is gonna come. I love the bar when he sat there and talked about how his father pushed him and he had to teach himself to swim, basically, and not sink, because only to float because only dead people float. Like, so it's like he's like really sitting here hitting with like bars and like heavy lyrics, and that's like touching your core and strikes a chord within you that I feel like everybody can sit there and relate to. Like, I definitely love this. This is an amazing track.
Everybody on different teams. I don't mean to get deep, I'm just speaking the truth. We in a 2-bed trailer with a leak in the roof. Potatoes every way you could ever make them. When you're hungry, gotta use your imagination.
Come on!
My mom did the best, she would hug and kiss me, even though we had more fucking mice than Disney. Still had some polos and plenty of drums, while she was living life with the same 2 bras. The lightning strikes like God say, thunder rolls. Life is cold like an Eskimo in summer clothes.
Oh, come on, bars!
Never let nothing stop me, and I miss my little girl like somebody shot me.
Oh, I love this.
I was 3 when my old man left in the wind, pushed me in the ocean, turned around and said swim. That's what I did, even though I was scared. I kept kicking, cause a person only floats when he's dead. I be prison made cross, fuck diamonds and jewels, still flying in Jordan when he was running with bulls.
Come on!
Shots and missed, so many cops was pissed, so many songs I have written in the past on this. It's a lot of imposters try to tell you the same, but how the fuck can I explain? No one knows my pain. foot on my navel. I was in chief from the cradle. I don't snort, cause they say that bitch Cain killed Abel.
Come on!
Understand it, but I must express it. Santa Claus is on heroin, there ain't no presents. And mom, all this shit makes my eyes so watery. Now I understand why you try to win the lottery. We gon' make it, I promise. Don't let the memories haunt us. Remember we was at the bus stop in pajamas, trying to run from a home that brought so many tears. Bad luck, like we must have broke 1,000 mirrors.
Come on!
I was 3 when my old man left in the wind. Pushed me in the ocean, turned around and said swim.
Hey!
That's what I did, even though I was scared. I kept kicking cause a person only feels when it's dead.
Okay, so I messed up. He sat there and said they only sink when they're dead. So that's what I like. And not floats when they're dead. He says, I believe he said sink. If I'm sitting here listening to the lyrics again, where he sat there and said, but I guess I was just so excited and just with the storytelling capability and everything that SPM is using and the imagery that he's using. This by far is such a phenomenal song. Just overall showcases his versatility and why he is that talented and that dude. Let's take that back a little bit.
That's what I did, even though I was scared. I kept kicking cause a person only feels when it's
That was dope. I love this song. This will be being played over and over and over and over. By far, my favorite SPM song. Hands down, hands down, hands down. This is my favorite SPM song. Okay, so let's... Hold on. Sorry about that. So let's quickly talk about SPM's Swim. I want to sit here and talk about how I love this song. I love how relatable this song is and how with the topics and everything that he touched upon and how this can definitely relate to me as a person, and I feel like it can relate to a lot of people who had to grow up in the inner city or even just within like rural areas who grew up poor and in poverty and had to sit there and fend for themselves within this life and just try to navigate this life and just learn how to sit there. And this song and this track is just basically about a mode of survival and just sitting there making the best out of any means necessary and playing the hand that you're dealt. I love this because it was like poetry on a track. Like he's sitting there speaking about his life, and this is what I love about SPM, and I say that all the time because I love that he's able to connect with varying audiences regardless of what background you come from, whether you live this street life or you didn't live this street life. Nobody can sit there and be hard pressed to sit there and hate and sit there and say this man does not have talent, that he cannot sit there and showcase storytelling capability, because he's a phenomenal artist and he does that so phenomenally that he can sit there and put himself out on Front Street and tell his story and let people judge him. And then on top of that, to sit there and have the bars and the execution to sit there and be able to sit there and say it. Like he sat there, like that bar when he sat there and said, I have more mice than Disney. Like, are you serious? Like, come on. Like, who thinks of something like that? Or when he sit there and talk about his father pushing him and he was scared and he sat there and said that he had to swim because he would have sunk. Like the imagery and the metaphoric genius that went into his bars and his lyrics, like you could tell he really sits there and thinks and doesn't want to shortchange his fans and sit there and basically tell a story for you to relate to. And even if you can't relate to it, you have nothing but to sit there and like, I pay respect to this man because I look at the life he had to go through and I see that he's sitting there trying to make it and trying to progress forward and not trying to sit there and become victim or fall victim or succumb to those harsh realities that was his world. And that's what I love about it. I love it, like I said, because it relates to me as an individual and a man, because of like everybody who's been following my channel so far. And if you don't know, like I mentioned earlier, I grew up in foster care, and then I had to sit there and dig through garbages sometimes to sit there and eat just to feed myself, because my mom would sell our food stamps so she can just support her habit of drugs and alcohol. That she also dealt with drug addiction. I moved to like 7 different foster homes around New York State. So it's like when I sit there and deal with it, it's like I sit there and think about things like this, and I sit there and see the connection that he sits there and bridges the gap, and he connects with varying audiences. No, I didn't sit there and live the street life that he did, but I seen how the street life had an impact and an influence on my biological mother and my family dynamic, and how it made people look at her as if she was the child of a demon, not knowing that she was sitting there trying to kick a habit and trying to sit there and get out of that habit. But it's like, that's why I always sit there and say I could never prejudge someone, because I could have almost been that person that could have been predisposed of sitting in jail. I could have sat there and been like in some type of psychiatric ward. Like, I never sit there and try to approach people where I could sit there and pass judgment on them, because you never know what type of life somebody had to come from to sit there and get to where they're at now. So I love this track. I thought he did an absolutely phenomenal job with this. And with that being said, please let me know what you thought of SPM Swim in the comments below. And with that being said, like I say every time, please be safe out there. And I'm not rating this because, like I say, you cannot rate excellence or lyrical genius and content. So with that being said, please remember to stay safe out there. Please remember to stay awesome, be awesome, because you guys are all awesome. This is your boy Mark, and I'm signing off. Deuces. Peace.
They call me Megatron. Shorty's a mega con. It ain't about the race either. It's the marathon.